All right. Good afternoon. It is High Priestess Jamila. Oh, what a night. What a night that I had. Happy full moon to y'all. And I don't know what kind of mood people are in today. I am going to throw the cards for my group, but I was inspired by one of my sisters to come on here and give you guys a little bit of advice. And Spirit actually inspired me to come on here and talk about this. We're going to talk about child abuse and the best way to heal and recover from it. Okay. First of all, hold on. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So I am not a psychologist or a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I am a wicked witch. Okay. And I'm a loving person. you know, always have been. I'm not the type of person that's going to continue to throw things up in your face. I'm not the type of person that tries to do things to purposely hurt people. So it is possible to be a wicked witch and to be a person that is just to be a good person, sort of a hero, so to speak. I like to think of myself as a hero, y'all. I do, you know. And the one thing that I cannot stand is child abuse. In fact, I believe that a lot of the people that even I've encountered and dealt with who have tried to torment and torture my spirit, okay, I believe that it is sometimes caused by child abuse. And it is a thing that just keeps on giving. It's a and it just gives misery. It just gives pain and suffering. And I believe that those memories are the worst thing. And so it's obvious that if you're going to get past child abuse, um that you try to forget and move on, okay? Because I believe that, you know, there are some things that did happen to me as a child that I have absolutely no memory of whatsoever. Uh, and there are some things that I do remember, and I think that those things are important for me to remember those things because it kind of let me know how to deal with what. Okay. But I think that when you get older, and I think when you get older, those memories, those things, the abuse, which was a curse to me, and abuse is a curse. And it's not necessarily a curse on you after you become older because then you have a choice of whether or not you're going to accept that, right? So for me, here's my suggestion, and this is actually how I am going to start dealing with y'all's child abuse. Okay. And then even when I look at people who call themselves my enemy, when I look at those people, I'm going to handle things a little bit different. Because I realize that there are some people that just like to try to make folks feel bad. And I think that it comes from their history, their past as well of child abuse. Okay. Uh, it doesn't really matter why there was abuse that occurred. It's the point that it did. And it was someone that did not have control over themselves. I'm the type of person that believes in having control over oneself. I am. And I think that that's a gift. I think that actually being able to control yourself uh, and not, which includes not hurting others, not causing or inflicting pain on another, and see, a lot of people think that when you say that you're a wicked witch, that means that you just go around inflicting pain. No, actually, I believe in justice. Okay. I believe in truth and justice. So I believe that when you suffered from any kind of abuse in your childhood, there could be a plethora of reasons, as to why this was happening at the time. It could be a lot of different reasons. It could be a lot of different. Okay. Like, really, there's no excuse for abusing a child, abusing an animal, abusing an elder person. Anybody, listen, anybody that, especially if they are young and cannot defend themselves. Now, there are some people that would argue that, and I believe that I have, people don't actually say it. They don't actually say it, but I believe that people think it. People actually think that certain types of abuses were necessary for your growth and development, character building. This is how they look. And see, this is where you are uh, giving the person an excuse. Now, usually, I guess we could say this if you're dealing with school trauma, okay? Trauma from other students at school. You know, there's a possibility because you guys know that bullies typically were abused in the home. Either they were not given enough love, they were not given and shown enough affection to properly develop their their compassion, their empathy for others, right? Hey Jen, hey 1EQ, hello sis, hello to my sisters. And so listen, I believe that if you are some of these abuses sound like downright torture. That I'm hearing. So this is what you do. When you become an adult or whatever age you are, I believe that you should return to sender. Somebody that abused you was pretty much cursing you or projecting a curse to you. Okay, that's what people do. They project. When you are an adult, you always focus on the people that are currently subjecting you to some kind of judgment unfairly. Because let's face it, no adult should be standing in judgment of another adult, especially if they're not harming anyone. If there's no harm being caused, why would you be judging? Like it's just absolutely ridiculous, you know. And people that are like that, people that try to judge you over things that they shouldn't, I look at them like Hannibal Lecter personality types, because when you look around at the world, surely there are other things that they could stand up for. Not my rumble, like for example, not my rumble in the bedroom with my ex and judging me for what. See, these people, what they do is they completely ignore all of the disgusting things that go on in this world. They don't have nothing to say about not about any of the things that they should actually be talking about or being outraged about. But yeah, I gotta judge you for what you did in the bedroom. And we all know that that's about backbiting and trying to take the energy that you were producing and using it for themselves. We all know that that's what that's about. It's called appropriation. People that disintegrate you for what you did are actually trying to appropriate that energy anyway. Okay. So we're not talking about that. What I'm talking about is when you get older and you have a memory of someone that did you dirty, reverse return to sender, whoever that person is. Hello? Any of y'all that come at me about any kind of child abuse and you're a client, we're going to have to discuss that, because you may be in your 30s and this abuse may have happened to you when you were a child. And God only knows what demon was attacking you at that time, because what none of y'all really protected anyway. They want to make it seem like, oh, well, you were alive, so you're alive. Well, yeah, I'm lucky to be alive, but now I have this memory, this energy, this trauma that is inside of me, and I don't know what to do with it. I tell you what to do with it. You send it back to that person. You return to sender. Okay, that's my policy on it. I've recognized even people that attack me sometimes. Okay, they are raging against me because those memories have popped up in their head and they are in a rage, and they are raging against me because they don't know what to do with that energy. I tell you what we're going to do with that energy is we're going to return it to sender. Whoever did that to you, whoever hurt you, because I ain't did nothing to you. I ain't never hurt you. I ain't never hurt my children. I don't hurt children. I don't do stuff like that. Okay. Now I have spanked my babies, my older ones, when they were younger. Jacob don't get spankings because the older you get, you realize that it's yeah, Jacob is a special child too. He don't stand for spankings, and I but beating children, leaving marks on them, from what just the some of the stuff that y'all describe as the so-called discipline, which I am not against. If you need to do a little couple of taps, the tap tap tap, let them know, especially when they, hey, but some of these people be beating these kids, be beating them till they're bruised and bloody. If you have went through that when you were a child, you need to reverse the negative effects of that and return to sender. Okay? Stop carrying that stuff with you. You may have deep traumatic wounds that do need to heal. Let me tell you something. None of us want to spend a lifetime healing from trauma from 20 years ago. It's time to start living. So I would definitely, people don't realize how to heal people, how to heal themselves. It's as simple as setting an intent to heal. Healing something is making it better. When you think about a scratch or when you think about a cut or a burn, it has to go through a special process of returning back to its original state. And sometimes there may be a scar that takes time to heal, right? Or go away, but it's still healed. Okay. So that's what I would suggest. If anybody abused you as a child, go all the way back retroactive to when you knew that the abuse started. Reverse it and return it to the sender. I don't care if that person is already deceased. I don't care where that person is or who that person is. Return that to sender, because obviously somebody abused you because they could not deal with their own crap and they took it out on you. Whatever it was, whether or not it was some past life stuff or what they went through when they grew up, whatever their reasoning was, even when it comes to sexual abuse, reverse it and return all of that negative karma and that trauma to sender. Stop letting these people get away with what they have done to you. Now, some of y'all started practicing witchcraft at a very young age. And of course, trust me, the abusers, they didn't want you practicing witchcraft. Oh God, no, they didn't want you doing that. Mm-mm. Because they knew that you were going to figure out how to channel this energy and make them suffer for what they did. So that's why it was discouraged for you to practice witchcraft, because they felt that you were going to hold them responsible for the stuff that they did. Okay? You're carrying somebody else's judgment and karma, negative karma and burden with you every single day, even if you don't even know where it comes from, even if you don't know why you're experiencing it, why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. That is the reason why it is a good idea to have cards, to learn the tarot, even if you just read for yourself, so that you can read self and say, why am I feeling this way? Why am I dealing with these negative emotions on this day? Okay. And if you look at it, if you specifically know, you've got to reconcile and see right now where Mercury is in retrograde, guys. So that means that we are looking at the past and past lives. Excuse me, guys. You got to return that stuff to sender. Let them deal with it. You shouldn't have to deal with that. Now, if it was like, if you was getting ready to stick your a damn safety pin or some kind of metal inside of a socket, and and you was literally getting ready to do that, and your mama snatched you and maybe clobbered you, hey, that's different, man. Listen, listen, hey, I used to tell this running joke that when I was raising my three older kids, especially Jacob doesn't do a lot of that stuff, but for some reason my three older children, it seemed like they was trying to commit suicide sometimes. They be trying to jump off the counter, and they be on top of the fridge, and it's like, what are you doing? Get down from there. And when things like that are dangerous, things like that are dangerous, okay? Like if your child is wandering towards the street, and you screaming at them, get back here, and they don't listen to you. And see, that's different. That's different. I'm talking about some asshole that just decided to abuse you for whatever reason. Okay? For whatever reason. One EQL's just angry right now, y'all. Forgive her, okay? Because she's just angry because she know we don't talk like that. We don't hurt children. Children are innocent. Okay. But that's the anger. That's the anger. Okay. The anger. Return that, all of that, so that you can live peaceful and happy. Return all of that to whoever did something to you. Because you know what I noticed? Because I was sitting there brainstorming one day, y'all, and I was looking at all of the things that has happened to me as an adult. And I suffered from adult abuse, people abusing me as an adult. That's a very, very, very real thing. And I realized one day, I was thinking that narcissistic abuse, emotional abuse, those things cause brain damage. If you think about it, like if you dealt with you didn't deal maybe with, because there were certain things that happened to me as a child, but I didn't deal with narcissistic abuse growing up. My grandma would have whooped somebody's ass. My grandma and my auntie would have whooped they ass and they mama's ass and everybody else's ass. Right? So I didn't go through that growing up as a child, but I experienced dealing with people that obviously went through that as a child, and they were abusing me. And it was every day, every day, every day, every day. Can you imagine a child that wakes up every single day to narcissistic abuse, how that could cause brain damage? That could actually cause brain damage. And so I see why all of these adults are damaged. And yes, you do have the right to defend yourself against their demons, because basically that's what we're doing, is we're battling each other's demons. That's what we're doing. Because I believe that if these people didn't have these demons that they refuse to let go of, I don't believe that they would be doing and saying the things that they're saying and doing to me. Right? Doesn't give them a pass because they are a representation of that demon. Okay. That could cause brain. It's a lot of people that are brain damaged because of abuse in their childhood. Certain things are damaged. That area of their brain that processes empathy, that area in their brain that, is able to make friends and not judge others, because you got to think about it. When you think about it, people that are very judgmental were not allowed to make a mistake. And then they also, even things that maybe they didn't consider to be a mistake. Because I got people every day on this website trying to tell me that I made a mistake. No, actually, what I did it and I enjoyed doing it and I'll do it again. So that wasn't a mistake, honey. Okay. Hey, listen, trust the process. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, because I got people that are trying to make me feel bad because I'm very expressive with this mouth in the bedroom. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I throw it down. I keep it smoking in the bedroom. I'm like a choo-choo train in that bedroom. And it ain't desperate either. I'm real smooth when I do it because it ain't no desperation. No, it's not, baby. It's just I'm a very freaky girl. Okay. Let's put it like that. And people didn't really know the extent of my freakiness. And I feel that it comes from a place of freedom, of expression. You know, everybody is free to express themselves in the bedroom as long as with another grown person. Okay. If I were to find out what a person likes to do in the bedroom, which some of y'all like to do much more freakier things than that, I'm not the type of person to be judgmental. Being judgmental is a mental illness. Like, really? Especially about something like that. And those people, like something like some people were raised to where, oh my God, don't drop a glass, don't break a glass. How many of y'all have been abused as a child because you accidentally broke a glass? Lord have mercy. A spanking, punishment, no dinner, shunned by the family. I mean, you broke my glass, oh, that was a collector's item. Oh, I can't buy that anymore. Well, go buy something different. Okay. You know that the sound of breaking glass and the act of breaking glass is a curse breaking? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? And many of y'all got beat for breaking something, beaten, especially if it was a mistake. Any mistake that you made, y'all got abused as children for making a mistake for it was an accident. Like, oh my God, is it, is life over because of it? Now, if you was just a badass kid and you was just going around tormenting, and it probably was a bad spirit in you or something, or maybe you was just a badass kid. But, you know, things that were genuinely a mistake that you made as a child, you were not allowed to make those mistakes, and that's unhealthy. Because you made those mistakes because it was meant for you to learn from it. It really truly was. Kids have to learn somehow. Teenagers have to learn somehow. Okay. Now that doesn't mean, because I can tell you they just sent that little girl to just, she was sitting in that in she was sitting in that courtroom crying. Boy, I bet you she got so much regret. Oh, the regret and the tears. That woman, I can't think of her name, y'all. The one that drove. I know, all I know is that she was on drugs and she was in a turbulent relationship with her boyfriend. And she made a decision in that moment to drive the car into a building and killed her friend and her boyfriend because she was being emotional. I bet, now see, that's a mistake. She going to prison the rest of her life. That's, that to me, in her mind, was a mistake that she's going to suffer the rest of her life for. I mean, now listen, okay, now there may be, and so that's something that, but I'm talking about things that you did, like, think about it. People treat their dogs better than they treat human beings. Let's say that your dog ate your homework, which has happened. Okay. Ain't nobody gonna beat the crap out of a dog for eating the child's homework, and now the child's homework ain't done. So it's certain things that, like, I feel like they should let the punishment fit the crime, and that's not what happened. And then some of y'all, it was just blatant abuse. It was blatant. It was wrong. They shouldn't have done that to you. Reverse that and return that shit to sender and get that off of your heart and your soul, and then banish that demon, because I believe that that demon dug into your fucking soul, your aura at that moment, and you've got to release it. You've got to release that hatred. You've got to, because it don't have no place where you going. Where you going in life, you got to let go of that. And how you going to truly let go? Okay? And you can't be 40 and 50 years old out here, abusing everybody and saying, well, I was abused as a child. See, people gonna start looking at you side eye. They're gonna say, nah, baby, you can't just sit up here and keep abusing and torturing everybody else because of what somebody else did to your ass. Now I can when I recognize that somebody is harming me or trying to harm my life in some kind of way and sending their fear and anger and bad karma to me. And I recognize, because they're saying to me, yes, I was abused as a child. This happened to me as a child. And yeah, my spirits will send it back to your mama. Your mama gonna get it. If your mama abused you, your mama gonna get some of that. When I do a return to sender, yeah, your mama gonna get it. Or whoever raped you or molested you, they gonna get some of that. But ultimately, I feel that it becomes your responsibility. So it's going to hit you first, and you got to decide what you're going to do with that. Ain't nobody else responsible for what somebody else did to you as a child or growing up. People got their own stuff they got to deal with. You can't be projecting that stuff and trying to find a scapegoat for that stuff. And there's so many people that are doing that. Okay, if they grandpa abused them or they uncle abused them and they want to forgive, right? They've forgiven their family member or whomever it was. They forgive them, but they still out taking it out on folks in the world. Y'all notice that? They forgive them and they say, yo, you my family, I love you, but let me go out here and let me call Jamila a skank, a slut, and say fuck you, and send all my demons to Jamila, for example. I'ma whoop your ass, your mama's ass, your uncle's ass, and anybody else's ass I gotta whoop. Cause Jamila don't have nothing to do with what happened to you. See what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I am saying? And yes, I think that we should send things back with love and light and healing. Certain things. But if you're doing things that could potentially cause harm to me, I gotta tell you, and you gotta, this is called life's lessons. This is life. When you're doing things that could negatively affect other people, they don't have to send you love and light. They don't have to send you love and light. They can send it right back in its raw form, and they got the right to kick your ass at the same time. It's called, hey, that's just the way that it is. A lot of these people, because they will tell you about the abuse that they suffered. They break down all the time. They break down and they tell you. People that are harassing and torturing you and then trying to impede on your life and trespass on you, they tell you about what happened to them. If you listen to them, they'll say what somebody else is doing to them that you're not doing. Well, excuse me, why should I have to take responsibility for what someone else did to you or is currently doing to you? I'm not. As I light this black candle, I'm not taking that. I'm sending it back to you and whoever the hell did something to you. And it is what it is it not? And see, that's why I said those energies, you can't transmute somebody else's energies. It's going to take you probably the same amount of time that it's going to take them to heal from that trauma. And so now you're taking too much responsibility to transmute somebody else's energy. That's why my spirits, if it's not transmutable, we don't need it. Mm-mm. Right, one EQ. Right, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I was just talking about. Exactly. And so it just is what it is. I'm not gonna and as we draw towards this full moon, everybody as a collective or certain people are being forced to deal with this trauma created by bad people. I'm sending all that trauma back to whoever did that to you. And I don't care. I don't even care if they cold and dead and in the grave. They gonna get that. I'm gonna get some get back. Because I shouldn't have to be weighed down. My children shouldn't have to be weighed down with all that heavy weight of that. Because honestly, guys, as we draw close to Halloween, the only thing I'm thinking about is putting smiles on everybody's faces, even some of y'all that I have adopted. My divine mother Lilith have adopted. I'm taking y'all all under my wing. But when it comes to my babies, Deja, Danielle, Daniela, Jacob, Tyrese, those are my babies. And then I got one angel baby. I I've always like, if I could have been y'all mama, if I could have been y'all mama, because I just, when it comes to children, I just like to hear the smiles on their faces. I don't like for kids to be too loud sometimes. I tell them, hey, quiet that down, use your indoor voice. Sometimes I let them, you know what I'm saying? It depends. Like, during the day, everybody in the household is supposed to be a little bit louder, but at night, things supposed to get real quiet. But my kids, that I always did everything just to put a smile on their face, spend time with them, and there were those moments when I wasn't the best mother. But what I did, as soon as I realized my power was, I healed my entire family. I still, and I ain't never beat my kids or put them in the hospital, no bullshit like that. Never, ever, ever, ever. I cut my goddamn hand off before I ever fucking hurt my babies or anybody else's baby. Okay. But and my kids are just like, Mom, you were the best. They'll say my I had the best mom, because I made sure that I didn't subject them. And when there was those times when things happen, I made that shit right for my children. I didn't say, oh, well, this is growing pains and learning and all that bullshit, character building. No, I sought justice for my kids at every turn. Because it don't matter who they was in a past life or whatever. Ain't nobody got no right to put their goddamn hands on my kids. So that's how I am. And I ain't gonna never change. Okay. So as we draw closer to Old Hallows Eve, I just want to heal. We're focusing on healing, doing a lot of healing work. And healing When you think of it from a witchy perspective, it is an intent that you set with a result. You're not blocking it out. You're not covering it up. You're healing that wound. You are. And I think that that is what is so important about us witches, is that we have the power to heal. Now, we also got the power to fuck somebody up. Yeah, we do. All of us do. Oh, I'm sure that she does. I'm sure that she does. Okay. But that's what we focused on in this group, because, and we want to be ready. We want to be, because when you think about, I swear people just don't understand when it comes to to Old Hallows Eve and Halloween, how it is a precursor to the joy that you experience. It's like a foundation to Yule, and it's not about what people have tried to make it. Okay. And some of y'all ain't gonna heal yourself real quick just by you know, because everybody in my Sabbath, you're going through a healing process, because I do have healing, and so a lot of you guys are not only healing, but you're releasing. Okay. And I haven't done the group reading for today, because you guys get an unlisted video link. You guys can text me for that link and I'll send it to you. But I got a feeling that this is what this is going to be. The focus on is going to be healing. And, that's what I do for the group. I don't put those videos out to the public. It's specifically for y'all, because y'all need to feel special, because y'all in my group, y'all paid to get in my group for this particular Sabbath. Okay. So we're focusing on that. And I understand that those energies will make you feel, it will. And it crept in probably about, I say maybe about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. That energy, that it kind of made me feel a little stuffy. Like, it made my nose feel a little stuffy, and it kind of made me feel like I was coming down with some kind of cold or something, which I know that I'm not. If I was, I put onions in my socks. I shit y'all not. If you start to feel a little cold or something, put them onions in your socks and just relax, and for a few hours. So a lot of y'all probably need to do that remedy. That's an ancient remedy that works. Okay. But I felt it, and it's something coming off of your heart. If somebody hit you in your chest when you was a child, it was because they was trying to damage your heart purposely. So that demon, that entity, that phantasm has to come out. And we're going to focus on banishing it through time and through space. Getting rid of it. Putting it into the goddamn void where it can't be, because it can't come back. Closing the door. So we focusing on that as a group. I already know it. I already feel it. A lot of y'all have this heaviness in your heart, and we're gonna make sure, because it's a rough transition. And I haven't checked to see what, if y'all could check for me real quick, what constellation, what zodiac sign we're gonna be in for the full moon, which it was supposed to be on the 30th, but actually will be at 100% on the 31st. So those energies are coming in, and I can feel them. And we're going to make sure we take care of that real quick. Because we ain't nobody got time to be sitting up there taking all goddamn year processing them emotions. In fact, I like to use the chime candles, the little 4-inch ones that burn down in about an hour. When you doing stuff that needs it, because you can accelerate things by using those little 4-inch candles. Them big long ones, it take longer to process it, because we don't have time for that. Y'all got, y'all have to focus on healing. And I've done it. I've been doing it for years. Like, for example, I was feeling energy, and this is a true story. This is a true story. I was feeling energies from somebody that was abused as a child, and I know that it was a head injury. I know it was a head injury because all of a sudden I started having this pain in the side of my head, and I knew it wasn't because it just came out the blue. Whenever something come out the blue like that, what do I have, a brain tumor? No, I don't. That's ridiculous. Because if I were to go to the doctor, they'd say, "Well, you're fine," and it's like, "Oh, yeah, I already knew that," right? So I'm not gonna go and expose myself to radiation when I know I don't need to. I know what's going on in my body and in my brain, right? I reversed it, did some healing, gone within like literally I ain't felt it since. It was like it was all in my teeth, and it was just this unexplained phenomenon that just came on just like that. Just like that. It just came on just like that. And as soon as I did that reversal, and it was coming from a specific person, I'm sorry I had to send it back to you, babes. But you're gonna have to send that back to whoever did that to you, because Jamila ain't got to go through it. That's how you deal with that. People have to take responsibility for the fuck shit that they did. And people out there in the world, you know, I go through stuff like that all the time. Sometimes when y'all contact me for for y'all readings, and I'll feel something because I'm an empath, right? What you dealing with, what you going through, I don't actually feel it, but I feel it. And I say that because it's just it's gaining control over your powers to where you don't allow things to become an affliction. But and so empaths have to have proper training by somebody that knows what they're doing. Oh, not so. Oh shoot, are we already in Pisces, Kinsley's mommy? Because if we already in Pisces, that Neptune energy can either scare you or set you free. Either you're gonna digress or progress, because Neptune is the planet of illusions, and that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice. It's also the planet where you can create your reality. That Neptune, Neptune is very powerful in that sense, to where we're gonna all be creating our realities. Is no, I'm saying that because sometimes we'll be in that zodiac sign like a few days beforehand. I'm wondering where we at now though. Like today, because today is the what? Is today the 30th? No, today's the 29th. Okay. And so the full moon was actually supposed to be the 30th. We're in full moon energy right now. That's why I be telling y'all to use these moons. You want $1 million? You want to win the lotto? This is the time to do it. I love it. I love a full moon in Pisces. But we got so many people that are processing this trauma that it blocks your ability to manifest. Okay? And manifesting your reality. And it's a lot of stuff, y'all. I can't show y'all Lilith's lair right now. Because I got some top secret 007 big sister almighty work going on right here. So I can't show it to y'all. You know. I'm willing to teach my students just about everything that I know. Some things my spirits don't let me. But this work I'm doing right now. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Y'all wouldn't believe. What in the world? That looks weird and strange. That's got to be a herb. Why'd it look like that? Okay, anyway, y'all. Oh man. If you wasting time arguing with somebody and you wasting time because what people will do, and let me tell you something, either you gonna be a winner or a loser with this full moon is this full moon is gonna be the bomb.com. I'm talking about the bomb.com. I wouldn't be wasting it. You're gonna be creating your reality probably for the whole rest of the year until next year, till next August. Because I believe it's something special about the entire month of August because of that number 8. That number 8 is very powerful. I believe that the number 8 is the most powerful number in numerology. The number 8. Okay. So much in that number 8. Just the formation of the number 8 within itself, when you just look at the number 8, and it's like, wow, it looks like an hourglass, doesn't it? So, you guys are gonna, yeah, especially those of y'all in our group, we doing like, and we not letting nobody distract us because we right on time with it. I swear to God, it's everything where that we were supposed to learn, that we were supposed to discover, especially within this group, is amaze balls. I'm so excited about that Neptune, that full Neptune, full moon. Right. Yep. It is the infinity. It is infinity. The month of August is a very, very, very powerful month. It is. And we ain't wasted none of it. And if you have wasted it, you better get on the ball. But see, you can't be like I don't know. My first response, my first thing is me and what I want to manifest. I'm not putting too much focus on like enemies unless my enemies were very dangerous. It depends on the level and the degree and what they know. The more your enemies know, sometimes the worse it's gonna be for them, because y'all just don't know. I wish that I could tell y'all about some of the stuff that I know, but I can't. I can't speak about it publicly, about some of this stuff I know. And then especially when it comes to the craft and what you actually dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But what I will tell you is, don't let nobody else create your reality for you. Don't let nobody create your reality for you. You create your reality. You create your reality. And so a lot of y'all need to process those fears real quick. I know that my group is going to be doing that, but I think that a lot of people, if I could have about 100 of you in each group, I'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? But it don't happen like that. Okay. Sometimes I wish it did, but it don't. Okay. But a lot of y'all do need more focused, deep dive. Y'all need to deep dive into that energy. And I'm telling y'all, if I see any kind of childhood trauma, or if we've discussed it, we have to reverse it and we have to send it back to whoever is responsible for that, because they have not made good on that. That's why people need to, hey, it just is what it is. It's a dog eat dog world. So if they caused you any trauma that is holding you back, trauma that is still hurting you, they're going to have to deal with that. And so that's why they don't really like that, because they want to inflict pain And they want the other person to just be a sacrifice for that pain or that suffering. And that's not, we don't even look at it that way in witchcraft. And that's why they don't like us witches and shit. We don't care. We don't care if we're not liked, because witches can be some of the realest people in the world. Okay. And so some of these people that have done things to you as a child, they are guilty as charged, and they have to deal with that, especially if they were an adult. Now, some of y'all that was in grade school and you had another child that did something, God sees children, I think up until like what, the age of 13. God sees us as children up until that age. For some reason, the age of 13 has nothing to do with the age of consent for sex. That's not what I'm talking about. But when and sometimes you just have to process it, and you just, those people, they have to deal with whatever it is. And more than likely what they have to do is they have to deal with that demon, because a person that has done harm, I believe that their own personal demon caused them to do that harm. And that own personal demon is their guardian and their protector. It is. It protects them from having to deal with it. It protects them from having to deal with and going through it. So like, for example, if I were to do a court case for a guilty person, I would absolutely be badass at that. I don't do that. I do. I have done court cases for people that did commit the crime, but not rape or murder or stuff like that. No, right? Because whatever it was that we have to process, we have to get rid of that part of themselves, that dark part of themselves that caused them to be self-destructive, to commit that crime. And what that thing will do is it will make it seem like it's protecting them. And no, it's not. It's causing self-destruction. Okay. So, it is definitely necromancy. I think that some of us necromancers do some of the best court case work. Okay. But, that person that did those things to you, they got to deal with that shit. Okay. That is going to be how you heal, because especially if you were sexually abused as a child, or either abused or beaten, just ridiculously beaten, and you're out there passing on that energy to other people, then you are projecting and passing that guilt to people that are not guilty of anything. So that person that did that to you, they got to get that energy back and process it. And it's best to do it. You don't want to wait till you get too old, because the older you get, maybe the more weaker, maybe your body is sicker. That's too bad. Ain't nobody got to deal with your bad energy. Okay. Especially some of y'all that are dealing with these men whose mamas abused them, or the mama allowed them to be abused by your stepdaddy and stuff like that. Your mom and your stepdaddy got to get that back. That you got to get some get back on that. Yeah, and that's not revenge. That's called justice, because you're carrying their wounds. You're carrying their sins with you. You're carrying their negative karma with you. They put it in you, and you've been carrying that burden for so long. And then they'll say, "Oh, well, I took care of you." That's no excuse. Somebody going through the mechanical process of taking care of you, but not only not, maybe they gave you love, but they also gave you hell and torture and abuse Or maybe they just didn't give you any love, or maybe they emotionally abused you. That shit has lasting effects. So they can't just say, oh, well, I worked and I took care of you, and I worked and I took care of you. Mm-mm. And you may be a person that is not out there projecting that to people. You may be suffering in silence. Everybody doesn't go out and pass that along. They just kind of deal with it and they internalize it. So, and it's time for us to start dealing with it that way. And then they have to go through that holy death that I call it, which is where it's facilitating change within themselves, or where they have to process that. Especially if you was a child. That's fucked up to put that kind of shit on a child. That's why you was the scapegoat growing up. So those are the deep internal processes that are happening when we do uh it's not the only thing that can happen, but them generational curse reversals. That's the process. So it's very deep. Okay. They should have made better choices because you didn't have a choice, especially if you was a kid. You didn't have no choice. You weren't given the choice. You were innocent, and you were very what do you call that? Vulnerable. You were vulnerable as a child. Okay. So, and talking about it don't do no damn good, does it? Does talking about it do any good? No, it doesn't. People just get defensive and they don't want to admit to the mistakes that they made most of the time. Now, the moment you go to a parent or an elder and you say, "Hey, I remember you did this to me," and they sit down and they look at you and they say, "You know what? I made a mistake. I'm so sorry." They may even cry. They may even say, "Please, please, please forgive me. What can I do to make this better?" That's different. But if they get defensive and they don't want to admit to the shit that they did, and then they start trying to cover up, and they start going around talking about you and getting people to attack you and try to break you down, okay? So that's why sometimes you just gotta, kind of stay away from folk, and go and handle your business and let them handle that. Let them handle that stuff that they did. Because some of y'all, it was over dramatic. It was something very traumatic that they brought into your life and into your mind and into your spirit. And they got to deal with that. And you shouldn't have to deal with that for the rest of your life. And of course, doing the reversal is going to start the healing process. But I always tell people, if somebody, if you're reversing something that damaged you and caused trauma, then you want to do some healing work to supplement it. Okay. If somebody did something to your relationship to break you up, then you want to reverse it, but you want to do a reunion and some healing. If somebody did something to mess with your money, you want to reverse it. You want to break the curse, reverse it, return to sender, but you want to do that money work. Okay. And that's how, and yeah, these things can be devastating to your life, and it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient having to reverse these things. But, as a witch, I have to charge you for it. And I'm tell you something, I can't you know, as far as like those rituals that to where you literally you gonna be good within 7 days. your shit gonna be right back on track within 7 days. I have to charge you for stuff like that, you know. Uh, and you do get a witch bottle with it too. But you know, it just is necessary, and so that's why they don't like us witches, because witches make them take responsibility for the shit that they've done. They don't like that. Okay, they don't like that. They don't like for you to believe in your witch and your witchery. They do not like that. I don't believe these are real stones. I'm gonna have to look these up though. I got a I got a sage and stone energy cleansing smudge kit from Five and Below, and it had Apollo stick in it, sage, a sage stick in it, and I can tell that the selenite is real, but these three stones that they put in there, I don't know if these are real. It don't say specifically what they are, so I don't believe it. I'm gonna try to look these up. So anyway, I'm getting ready to get some work done for the group. Thank you to the person that inspired this, but you know, it just it is what it is, you know, and really really the negative energy that they put on you, it's not your job to transmute it. That's why you can't transmute that energy. Y'all been trying to transmute that energy from your childhood for years, and you ain't gonna never be able to do that. I mean, let me take that back. You can transmute it, but only to a fault. I think it depends on what the other party is doing. If y'all are doing a tug of war, which is literally that person not wanting to take responsibility, so they got the nerve to be trying to send that shit back to you. That's what I don't do. Can't no old ass person come to my business and say, Jamila, I abused this child when they were younger, my niece or my daughter or my son, and now they trying to make me take responsibility. Can you please not make me take responsibility? They probably gonna get cursed extra. They can't nobody contact me with that shit. But it's some witches out there. It's some witches out there that will help them fuck you up for the fuck shit that they did to you. They'll help fuck you up. And see, I ain't that kind of witch. I am a guardian angel. I am Archangel Gabriel. I am Lilith. I protect the babies. I protect your inner child. I heal your inner child. I don't do no shit like that. I ain't gonna hurt you even more. Mm-mm. And they know it. That's why they don't like my ass, and I don't care. Cause I'm in very good company, honey. And then they want to sit up there and say, well, you know what's crazy is that adults that abuse children, they're like children, they goddamn self. And they'll say, oh, well, I did it because that child was a demon. It was a demon in that child. You ever notice that shit? Let me tell you something. Even if it was a demon or an entity in that child, it was your fucking responsibility to exorcise it in the most humane way possible. And you chose not to, even if it was. So you're still wrong, right? So what they'll do is they'll say, well, I saw a demon in that child. And really what they was doing was they was seeing the demon in them most of the time. Most of the time. Because what you was doing was playing and laughing as a child, and they was sitting up there looking at you, think of paranoid, delusional with a demon inside them. Talking about, are you laughing at me? I think you laughing and playing and laughing at me, and the child is just being a child. So they was sick, and that's why they did that shit to you, right? So they'll make excuses, and the next thing you know, this person that abused you as a child is continuing the abuse and torture into your damn adulthood because they never want to take responsibility. And we don't play that shit over here. We believe in justice and we will get it. Now that don't mean that that person got to die. But see, when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, they only want to look good to the outside public. That's why they never admit it. And sometimes they never take responsibility, not even behind closed doors. So narcissism is a demon. It's an entity that never takes responsibility for its actions. Not in any place, not even in private. These narcissists don't even sit down with you in private. And then even when sometimes they do it, they come from a disingenuous place because they don't want to process and deal with and feel that pain that they cause to you. That very damaging pain that they cause to you. They have to deal with it. They have to. Because why should you have to deal with it? It wasn't your fault. Was it your fault? No. What we gonna do is we gonna get you through it. And that's just what that's what I do. I was born to heal people. And I'm not talking about anybody that did anything to me as a child. That stuff been taken care of about 10 years ago. Before that, before I came out here as a witch, I was already healed. And people were trying to reopen those wounds because either they were paranoid or delusional or they dug into my past and they decided they was gonna try to fuck with me, take what I got, take my healing energy. That healing energy is very sacred. That healing energy is very sacred. Okay. And so so I ain't talk if you somebody that feels like you did something to me as a child, we've already processed that a long time ago, baby. I ain't talking about you. Now, if you dug up some shit in my childhood and decided you was gonna try to use it against me, then I'm coming straight for your head. Cause I'm pissed off with the fact that you tried to make me regress. And I ain't regressing shit. I'm progressing. You can't take me back and try to fucking fuck with my inner child, try to hurt my inner child that I done already healed. And it's a lot of people out there that will do that shit because they sick, because they not healed. They inner child not healed, so they want to mess with your inner child. Okay. So a lot of y'all are dealing with other people's wounds, and I feel it in my group. And a lot of y'all that are my sisters, I go through everything with my sisters. That's why, like right now, I'm removing death magic from a couple of people. Death energy, destruction energy. You think that shit scares me? Huh? I done did it so many times and I'll continue to do it. Because it's not, it's not a physical death energy, but yeah, it does kind of sometimes it can cause people to either be frightened of death or sometimes it could, we've seen it happen. But, when I take you under my wing, we go through the darkest shit together and we get through it. So, and people don't know what the fuck I do. People run around here scared and fucking playing around. You know what I'm saying? People run around here playing with it, and we ain't playing with it over here. So that's why my clients and then even my apprentices, they don't mind making sure that me and my family that they pay me for the work that I do. They don't mind compensating me because they know what the fuck I'm going through with them. And it ain't my job to be scared. I'll let you be frightened, but I'll make sure that you end up not scared. But I can't be scared of that shit. I have to face it like a lion. I have to face every single fear. And that is the responsibility of a fucking high priestess. And so many people, they can't get there because they don't love enough. They don't have enough love in their heart. You got to have heart to do what the fuck I do. You got to be able to love somebody unconditionally to do what the fuck I do. And that's why a lot of people can't figure that shit out. That's why I deserve what I deserve. That's why my apprentices, I'm telling y'all, when I get at that lake, y'all gonna be invited. Y'all gonna meet my family. Y'all gonna love my family members that I fuck with, the ones, you know what I'm saying? My children, y'all gonna out with it. We gonna be chilling. Okay. I fuck with y'all the hard way because we done been through some hard shit with each other. Some of y'all wake up, y'all chest be heavy, you can't breathe. Oh my God. And I get y'all through that shit. And people don't like if people knew what the fuck I go through with people and the afflict, like I'm a real fucking healer. And a lot of people that know me that fuck with me, they know me. And I ain't gotta be somebody that's perfect, that don't cuss, that's somebody that's, oh, I'm just of the highest. And no, no. I cuss, I do all that stuff sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to that work, those energies that are trying to hurt you, that's trying to shut down your heart, that's trying to shut down your throat, your mind, your everything, that's what I am there for. And people know that. Because I go through it with y'all. Sometimes I'll get, sometimes I'll feel that sickness. And it's my job to know how to heal that shit, even sometimes within minutes, within seconds. And I've gotten better and better at it, just in the past 3 years. So when people want to run around here and say, oh, it ain't worth, oh, she ain't worth nothing or whatever, I already know my worth, and all of my clients know my worth. That's why they are still there. That's why they have nothing to say about me, and they understand what I do for them. That's why when I cut people loose, they know what they lost because they was being disrespectful and disregarding me. And they shouldn't have nothing negative to say about me because I put myself at risk. The stuff that I deal with, people that tell me about their symptoms and their afflictions and things of that nature, they'll come and they'll tell me. And, it's a probability that I may feel that even if it's for 30 seconds, I don't want to feel that shit. But I do it anyway because I'm a very kind-hearted individual that don't deserve somebody to take my damn kindness for weakness. And I hate to turn this into this discussion because it's for you, but I got to say it for me as well because nobody cares actually about what us healer like when you think about a healer, and this is where I start to connect to my all of my ancestors that were authentic healers from the past, the present, the past and the present. The sacrifice that the risk that we put ourselves at, the harm that could be done. But we too good to go through that. We don't do that. We don't do that over here. Okay, because we know how to deal with that. Otherwise, we can't call ourselves teachers and high priestesses. So when y'all be feeling that deep anxiety, that low anxiety, that man, so you gotta learn how to cough it up. That deep anxiety make you feel like your chest is tight and you be all pressed and stuff. See, these are the things that I have the remedies for. And that's why my spirits want me to start creating my stuff like my salves and stuff that I used to make, because it was like we've been on 911. We've been on 911 and 611 and 711 and 1111 the past goddamn 3 years over some petty shit. But there's this salve that I make with shea butter, or either I can use cocoa butter. I don't really like using coconut oil because you have to keep it in the fridge. Otherwise, it'll just be melty, but you can use that too. But, I'll give you the recipe. I use cinnamon. I use red pepper powder. And what that does is that and I use a few herbs in it, and you put it on that afflicted area and it just clears it up real quick. Okay. So, and but you can't have just the physical item. You have to have the spirit, and you have to know how to tell that particular herb or root what to do. Otherwise, you ain't healing nothing. You're just, it's not that deep healing. It's not. It's just surface, but you're not going deep into that healing to where that person whose heart has been broken for some reason, especially when they was a child, when they were betrayed as a child, that takes deep healing of the heart chakra. And that's why I be telling people, and that's why everybody that love me and care about me, they be putting shields and stuff around me. That's why these people can't kill me and destroy me, because the people that know what I do, which is basically teaching you how to self-heal. Hold on a second, y'all. People that know what I do for them, they protect me, they shield me. And I appreciate y'all, because sometimes they'll all barrel down on me at once, and I don't feel that mess anymore. Especially since I started to connect to my spirit family and my sisters and stuff. Y'all don't let me go through that, because I don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need it. So thank you. I'm sorry I had to turn this into a conversation about myself, but it's self-care too. So if I can't take care of myself, I can't take care of the people that I have to take care of. Okay. So anyway, that's our discussion for the day. So yeah, that's the secret behind healing and moving forward. Now, another thing with those of you, those come along the lines of poverty as well. Poverty is included in that, but not always, because some of y'all came from rich and well off people and they were still abusive, either physically, sexually, or in some other kind of sick way. And trust me, I've heard the stories. Okay, your sick father sharing you with his friends and all that sick shit. Okay, all that sick shit. So same difference. So y'all, some of y'all got a bunch of shit to heal from, and normalizing it ain't gonna do no damn good, because that ain't how goddess works. Goddess sees that, and yeah, we, in religion we do have forgiving gods, but forgiveness is a process. It ain't just, oh, I forgive you, and ain't nobody got to go through nothing. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, that ain't how this shit works. Sorry. So today, guys, I will tell the public this, that today we're working with eye bright powder. And eye bright powder does a lot more than what meets the eye. No pun intended. So we're working with the herb eye bright powder in our healing process. And I'm gonna be making a water today that is gonna consist of eye bright powder, bay leaf, um, and rosemary. Now, don't that sound like a wonderful combination? Eye bright powder, rosemary, and bay leaves. Okay. And so we're going to put a little bit in our simmering pot. We're going to simmer some of it. But then we're also going to have we're going to use the waters because what y'all are dealing with is memories of that and processing the memories. So we're going to be doing a lot in the circle today. Um, and if you're not in my circle, you need to get in. But some of y'all probably ain't gonna get into the circle until like maybe the end of this week. But I'm telling y'all, listen, stop doing my Sabbaths at the last minute. Stop doing that. Do them as soon as you can, as soon as I release them. Because all throughout that entire Sabbath month, I'm working with the group on various things. So even though you can play catch up, it's best to, deal with what we dealing with, and getting the benefits of being in the circle as we do it in real time. Because every single day I spend, probably about 2 to 3 hours of my workday on the circle. Okay. And, in addition to the other workings that I'm doing. Okay. Now, I will tell y'all that if you are in my Sabbath and you got a curse on you that's been there for quite some time, it'll move some of it, but it's not going to move all of it. So you need to have more of a focus working. My spirits, it goes by price and then numbers. So that's the reason why when you really want to dive deep into numerology, and we'll talk about this and as to why we charge what we charge for our services. When you look at multiple numbers of two is sort of almost like that energy of decision making and thought process and thinking. And so this is one of the reasons why, you know, uh, you can't go and get complete and total healing for $88. Now maybe $888. Okay. Because then you have a multiple number of three. Multiple numbers of three. That's why it has to be in the hundreds. Sometimes it's got to be four, sometimes even five series of numbers. And so this is how you're going to make an impact. Thank you, sweetie. This is how you're going to make an impact on your life. And it can be dangerous for people to say, oh, I'm just going to pray for you. Send me $20. Mm. Listen, I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for years and connecting with spirit guides. And so a lot of people will think, oh, well, that's unfair. I don't have that. You'd be shocked and amazed as to how my spirits will bless you with money. And then sometimes people will go and spend that money on something else. My spirits will send you the money. Okay. And can't nobody take those spirits from me. Those spirits that send my clients money to pay me for the work, you can't take those spirits from me. And I've had people try to take those spirits from me. And they not gonna manifest nothing for you. Those are my spirits. And a lot of witches have those spirits. They just haven't tapped into them yet because they don't understand. Understanding is knowledge and wisdom and power. Okay. So that's why when a witch is doing money work, she's doing money work for everybody. She's doing money work for her clients too. Okay. So that's how that works. So people that say that, they're wrong for saying that because they don't really understand the energies and vibrations of money. Money is energy. And so a lot of people say, well, I shouldn't have to pay for that. That should be free. And you're wrong. And then people will say, oh, well, that's too expensive. Well, you're wrong for that. Okay. That's one of the reasons why when it comes to generational uncrossing work, it's got to be a number. It's got to be four numbers, multiples of four. So it's got to be at least 1,000. But then there's other numbers. Okay. And then with some of these contracts, with some of the pacts that you make with deities, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times when we're working with these deities, it's best to make a pact with it, whether or not it's a deity or a demon. Okay. So, for example, like a pact with Lakshmi, if you want to make a pact with her, you can make a pact with Lakshmi. You can. Y'all, right as I said that, I heard a bee. outside my window. That was weird. Okay. So you can make a pact with Lakshmi, but you can also make a pact with Boom. Okay. And pacts don't have to be forever. They can just be for a certain period of time. In fact, they don't always last forever. And you don't even need them forever. Okay. But so it's a lot of options that you have, but you just have to, you know, believe in what you see and not in what you hear. And so, for example, when you come to me and you see me doing certain things for you, and you see that 2, 3 years prior to that, it wasn't happening, but you see, as soon as I get to working on the situation, it starts happening, and you already know what it is. And we don't believe in coincidences. Okay. All right, guys, let me get this fire lit. I'm about to get y'all fired up and everything. Get the circle fired up and get ready for these readings and stuff that I gotta do today. Okay. Make sure y'all follow me on TikTok, because I think I'm gonna put some full moon readings on there. But I may just have them because some people don't have TikTok. So I try to upload those readings to YouTube as well. Okay. All right, guys, y'all have a good day. I hope that this helps somebody, and y'all have a good one. Okay. Blessings. Bye.